Welcome in Renegades. And today we're here with an expert in software engineering. His name is Drowny. He's a pivotal, monumental, instrumental part of the internet computer community. He was part of the Dallas meetup that happened, and he was also with us at the Austin ICPCC conference. I would like to welcome in my friend Drowny to the stage. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect, man. I just want to thank you for being here first off. It was a pleasure to have met you. We had a lot of fun in ICP Austin. We also did a lot of cool things, networking, getting a lot of airdrops that were happening throughout this 9-hour live stream, and just kind of connecting with the people that love the same things that we do, in one place. So just kind of introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your background, and then we can go into the meetup a little bit later and talk about that. And just kind of tell us what got you into ICP, man. Just give a brief overview of your experience and your background.
Cool. Thanks for the intro. So I've been a full stack software engineer for about a little over 5 years now, just working in a variety of industries from government to e-commerce, food business industries to manufacturing industries. So it was just kind of just job hopping. And I discovered Internet Computer right around when it launched in 2020, in the spring of 2021. And yeah, I hadn't really took a close, like a look at ICP up until like late 2022. And then that's when I discovered that this is a little of a pretty unique blockchain compared to most crypto. So I think from my background as a software engineer, I was trying to look for a crypto project that could kind of relate to the Web2 development angle. And I was looking at all sorts of things like Chainlink and Ethereum and Solana, but it just seemed like every other crypto was just a piece of the full stack development that I was used to, but it didn't really bring the whole picture. So then I discovered ICP in 2022, and I just got hooked. I saw a bunch of Bobby O's videos, and he really kind of lit the light bulb in my head in my ICP journey. So yeah, I've only, I'm fairly new to crypto. I'm still learning, just like everyone else. I don't know if I'm that crucial of a community member, but you flatter me, so I appreciate that.
No, man, like seriously, the community needs like everybody to come together like that, and just the way that you're so like humble about everything. I just love it, and we need like more people like that. And then you're also hella smart because you know all of the development issues that can arise on the internet computer. So that's why I say that. Thank you for being humble though. So it was an honor, to be able to connect with everybody at ICPCC. So is this obviously maybe your first ICPCC event? But was there any other meetups that you were a part of before this, and what brought you to Austin?
Yeah, this was my first ICPCC event, and really had a great time. Uh, Props to Isaac and Cohen State and obviously the SWAP for hosting the live stream. They did a really fantastic job. I really enjoyed, just getting to know every one of you in a little more personal level. So, but this before ICPCC, I wanted to do a Dallas meetup. So we did a meetup like a week before ICPCC in Dallas, and I was hitting up one of my friends. His name is Matthew LaRose. He hosts a lot of meetups around Dallas, and I was just giving him this idea like we should do a meetup about ICP and just kind of work together with other meetup groups to see if we can get something going. So we found this brewery near Dallas, and we were able to get about 26 people in attendance, and about 32 of those people registered. So I thought that was a pretty good ratio, considering most of these meetups have a 50% turnout typically, and it showed to me that there was a lot of interest in the ICP community. and we managed to work with Pedro, who leads ICP Hubs USA. He was able to help us give the funding and to host the event. And we had three speakers as well. Pedro gave a talk about the overview of ICP. Then Jordan last gave a more technical talk, and Spider as well gave another talk about DAO governance and canister design. So they all really did a great job, and I thought the event was a success because to me, I didn't want to do an ICP meetup just full of people who already knew about ICP. I wanted to like bring newer people to kind of introduce and onboard them into the ICP ecosystem. And I would say about half of the attendees were pretty new to ICP, and they spent a lot of times doing Q&A and asking the speakers some pretty interesting questions. So I thought it was a great meetup.
And you guys can check it out down here in this link below. He actually made a video of the Dallas meetup. So if you didn't get to go to the Dallas or Austin one, you get to kind of see what it's about and everything. And I think next year, like my plan is to kind of do, and it's going to be cool. I think Trevor has made a video of our experience at ICPCC behind the scenes. So like what happened at the meetup and stuff. And so these are the kind of cool things you can watch and see what happens at these meetups. And it's a really cool opportunity that we had to network, like you said, with people outside of the ICP ecosystem. Traditional developers came into the meetup because they heard on what was that place where that gold guy heard that list place that was telling about meetups. I forget what it's called in Dallas, but it's something not like Indeed, but it shows where the meetups were. But anyway, it brought a couple developers in, and we were able to talk to like a couple different teams. So the really cool part about the people that came there is they aren't only just like single individuals looking to get into the internet computer. So if you're able to onboard one of these individuals that's coming, that's like the networking person for the team, that really comes in kind of is speaking for the whole team to see, hey, is this something that could work for us and our entire team? Not just one person, but a whole team of developers, marketers, strategic partner people, and all of that kind of stuff. And this one guy was from Argentina, and he had a team of 100 people that he works with in a business from Argentina, right? And so getting him to understand what he could do with the internet computer was pretty pivotal. So I started talking to him, connected with him. And then he starts to tell his team. And then another guy named Sujoy, really, really nice guy. Him and one of his partners came in. And then he's like, yeah, I have a team of a few developers myself. And so I was able to connect with him. We actually just got off a chat last night talking. I was able to tell him about the grant program from Dfinity. I was able to lead him to what they're already building on the internet computer so he could see what is possible to be built. I was telling him about cross-chain integration, talking about payment systems from like ACH and Stripe that are connected within crypto, and his whole the other guy that was with him didn't come because we met him at the meetup, but his other team of developers was on the call with us. And these are the kind of connections and kind of things that are happening behind the scenes at ICPCC. Like you said, it's not just about meeting the crew. Like, it was beautiful, but it was also about getting people to really understand what they can build on the internet computer, what it's doing, why you want to create a wallet, why you want to build, what you can build. Like, it's the full tech stack. And that really, as soon as I said that, bro, like you were talking about that earlier, and I told him that because like I hear Dominic Williams, talk about that. So I kind of like mirror what he says, and to kind of let people know what's going on. And as soon as I said that, you saw like a little glimmer, like a little sparkle go off in his eye. Was like, what do you mean? Like the full tech stack? This can't be possible. Like that. But all the possibilities are endless. So you could just see it in his face. That kind of excitement and that kind of, anything is possible. And I was like, yeah, this payment system, it might be, a little bit rough to do, but here's ACH. This is the one that's already integrated with Yuku. He actually sent me a Stripe article that was talking about Stripe integration. But these are the kind of things that you just want to tell people, because he was already building a payment platform. He works for Amazon, so these are the kind of guys, in my opinion. Me and you were talking about this, Drowny, just a minute ago, about having people not give up their full-time jobs. But like my older brother, he does his full-time job, but even middle to upper class is having issues coming up with enough money to pay for everything with the way the economy is. Like if you have a 5-person family or a 6-person family, and you make $115,000 a year, that might not be enough to buy a house, to pay the mortgage, to do everything that you need to do. So a lot of people are taking on side jobs, and that you have a full-time job. And then if you're going to have a side job, why do something that you hate? Like if you even kind of like your regular job, or if you don't like your regular job, why are you going to want a second job that you don't want, right? That you don't like. So the way that I see it is, my brother does a hobby for work on his side job. He builds video games. He loves to build video games. That's what he does, whether he gets paid for it or not. So imagine taking your hobby of wanting to build a video game and turning that into a paid position, or a company that you could build on the internet computer as a game, for instance, or a payment system on the side from your regular job. And you, Drowny, as a software engineer, you were telling me you thought this idea was pretty interesting. What do you think about being a full-time employee in the traditional Web 2 infrastructure that's built in America, to taking a little bit of time, like you said, to organize meetups? But is it worth it to build on the internet computer in your free time? Do you think that it could be a tangible way to not only create extra income for your family, but build something really cool?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I do think it is a viable way, because it's less saturated here on internet computer compared to like AWS and Microsoft. Most developers that are coming out of college and learning software engineering, they basically just want to build a side project, but they don't really go in with a mindset of making money. They want to impress their employer. So in the meantime, they have to make money through other means, like maybe take a side gig at a restaurant or do deliveries, so stuff like that. I would say that ICP, it does give you that revenue model potential to build a project. And not only that, even if your project fails at becoming profitable as a business, it still gives translatable skills back to the Web 2 world, because you're still learning back end, front end databases, learning how to do API calls and getting data from outside sources. It's all the same concept. Whereas if a developer tries to go straight into Ethereum or Solana, it's kind of a stark contrast. It's like a whole new paradigm, and there's a lot of friction for Web 2 developers to get in, because they have to think of things more from a transactional, tokenized standpoint, as opposed to more of a general Web 2 web development standpoint. So I always try to like get the Web 2 developers to kind of look at ICP and just tell them like, hey, we got everything that AWS has, and we may not be as mature as AWS, but you don't need like all the bells and whistles of AWS, because you're just a single developer and you're just trying to build like a side project or a prototype. That's perfect for ICP. And plus the hosting is actually quite cheaper, because ICP is comparable to AWS in almost every facet. It is a little bit more expensive on the storage costs, but if you're just building a small project, then the storage cost is very minimal. It's only until you get to the terabytes of data, that's when the storage cost starts to exponentially increase. But if you're just starting out, you don't have to worry about like going all out and going for a full AWS infrastructure. You just start with ICP and get the benefits of its better security and its less saturated environment to make a business model.
I think that's very, very intuitive, because with data storage costs comes, the added aspect of security, right? So this is where it kind of folds over, and this is what Dominic Williams was talking about, is like, yes, it might cost a little bit more for data storage, but it's going to save you money in the long run for security, because you're going to have to pay for firewalls. You're going to have to pay for added security for your business so that you don't get hacked. And the thing with the internet computers, that's all built in. So the total cost of everything, even like if you do start to scale your project, become profitable, start storing a lot of data on the internet computer, it could really balance out, because the bigger you get, the more security you're going to need for your infrastructure to keep your community, your customers safe, right, for whatever you're doing. And so the internet computer is also going to be able to scale it as big as they want with that added security feature. So I think it kind of overall balances out with that the final cost of running the business. So at the beginning, you're going to benefit from, you know, it being a really small thing. It's not going to cost a lot, and you're still going to get that security, right? And as it grows and matures over time, you're going to get that added security, but you're not going to have to pay as you build your infrastructure up as much, because that security is going to be built in, and you don't have to worry about, you know, paying for all of this added stuff to keep your business safe and your community safe. So I think that's one of the biggest benefits of building on the internet computer over AWS, and all of those things that you said are going to really bring in the developers that are building here. And if you guys watch my previous videos a while ago, I always talk about the developers on the internet computer. We go into a lot of different what do they call polls and stuff that they're keeping track of, like all the developers on all different blockchains, and the internet computer is constantly at the top of the most developers, the active developers that people are building, and that's why we're sitting at the top 20 crypto right now, is because the internet computer is doing AI, I guess. So there is a merger happening. I think you were here when we were talking about this on the space. I'm not sure if you were there or not, but we were talking about this Singularity Net, Ocean Protocol, and what was the other one? There was another third one that was going to
AI.
Fetch AI. So those three are all integrated into one token. And if you remember, I actually was talking about Singularity Net integrated with the AI function in like November of last year. And then I put it all together. Well, if Singularity Net is integrated with the internet computer already, okay, follow me here. The Singularity Net is already integrated with the internet computer. Now Singularity Net, Fetch.ai, and Ocean Protocol are all one blockchain now, right? So if you take deductive reasoning and you think, okay, well, if Singularity.net is integrated with the internet computer already, now Singularity Net, Fetch.ai, and Ocean Protocol are one crypto. Now that means that Singularity Net, Fetch.ai, and Ocean Protocol are all going to be integrated with the internet computer, right? If they're all going to become one blockchain and one coin, right? So the internet computer is going to get that kind of capability of AI. They're going to use, I think for the token, they're going to put it on Cardano, I heard. I was looking for more information, but couldn't find it. But that's the kind of interesting thing that's happening. You're going to see ACH, like payment gateways. You're going to see, you know, stuff like this with Fetch.ai. Like all of these really crazy things, these other blockchains want to utilize the internet computer. Guys, if you don't understand what that means, when Dominic Williams did this AI presentation, it opened people up to the possibilities of the internet computer from other blockchains, right? So, and I love what, you know, Singularity Net and Fetch.ai, Drowny, are doing with this, merger of these blockchains, because it shows that any blockchain that understands what the internet computer is doing wants to be a part of it. And it isn't just us integrating. Okay, ICP, we're integrating with all these blockchains. These blockchains are searching us out to try to use the infrastructure that the internet computer has, the technical infrastructure, right? So from a software engineer standpoint, what is or even just a crypto expert standpoint, because expert, we'll call them masters, like the OGs, the 2014s, but me and you, 2020s, 2021s in crypto, we're the experts. So just kind of give us an idea of like how attractive the internet computer would be, maybe from another blockchain standpoint, and why they would want to use that kind of infrastructure to benefit their blockchain, like we've seen happening.
Okay, so there's been a lot of discussion about AI security and regulation lately. We know that Samsung, they got in trouble by where their software engineers just use ChatGPT to its fullest limit, and their code base basically got stolen because it was all ingested into ChatGPT. So companies want to protect their intellectual property when using AI, and they can't really do it when they put everything in ChatGPT. So the next alternative is to set like a private network surrounded by a firewall and a DMZ zone, stuff like that. I'm not network engineering, but there's just basically a lot of setup you have to do to make a private network to host an AI, and even that isn't really foolproof. So I do believe that ICP is the only really solution in this planet where you could host an AI model that doesn't require a lot of infrastructure security setup, and you can just host it up into the chain. It's verifiable. It can't be tampered with, as Dominic always likes to say. And sure, we're probably at the early stages of AI. We're not to the point where we can get LLMs into ICP, but I know definitely they're working on that pretty fast. And when they're going to announce WASM 64-bit support, and then we'll have the GPU subnet on the next generation of our node machines, and that's going to really ramp up the AI development. So even though we may not compete directly in terms of AI effectiveness against OpenAI, we can still have a niche. Like there's still a concept of small language models. It doesn't have to be a large language model. Not every use case needs billions or trillions of data parameters. It could just be something simple, like what Dominic demo with the image classification. And I think that's what Singularity Net is kind of looking at right now. I do believe the last update we've heard from them is that it's rumored that they're going to use ICP to decentralize their marketplace, their website, and how people can buy and trade things from their marketplace. So they're going to start there. I would be very eager to see if they would be interested in actually hosting the AI on ICP. Like that would be a bombshell news. And I think they're going to soon realize that ICP is the only solution that can host AI models, as far as I know.
Yeah, that's one thing. I was reading the article that they're talking about, and it looks like they do want to use AI language models on the internet computer. So I'm not sure if that has to do with what Dominic was talking about, or if they're trying to utilize the technology that he already said. And it was pretty simple, like you said, it was just kind of AI recognizing a picture, but that kind of thing you have to build with building blocks, right? You need a foundation before you can build a building, and I think that's what they're doing. They're building the kind of ground floor pieces to this right now. And I love your take on it, because I didn't even think of some of the ways that you would think of things in terms of is this possible right now with the technology? Is this going to be sustainable for the future? So I really like your point of view on that, man. So yeah, I think AI is definitely the future of blockchain. I would like to see like decentralized exchanges running on an AI model, so that it just kind of upgrades as it goes, and makes like the overall user experience better. It's going to give you better transactions. You're going to get probably less fees, because less humans are going to have to maintain it. And these kind of things are the future. The less people that have to work on a project, like developers, the more money it's going to generate, because you're not putting as much money out, building these things and taking time, but the AI model is going to do it for you. And that's the way I see it happening. Not now. This is probably like 10 years out for it actually to become a learning, a self-upgrading smart contract that can, update web calls. or whatever, update whatever the user interface, update, do the maintenance that they normally have to do, but through an AI model. So a person doesn't have to go in there and manually put in the code, that they just kind of prompt the AI to do it. I don't know if that's like, I'm not an engineer, man, but this is what I picture as like a layman for the internet computer to do. Am I close? Could it do that? Or am I just kind of like in left field on that one?
I think it'll be earlier than 10 years. I feel like, in my opinion, we just need the hardware infrastructure, or at least the training. So on-chain training AI is still a few years out, I would imagine. But actually, just if we're just worried about hosting the AI, then that's already doable. But of course, we can't host very powerful, effective AIs. But things like, I know Dominic likes to talk about the KYC example, where you could have an image classifier, look at your driver's license, and it could help KYC, do the KYC service for decentralized apps like Uniswap. So you don't need a centralized entity or hire someone to kind of verify who this guy is. It just does it automatically through like a ZK proof. So that's like a good example of a small AI use case. I do think I do think it's going to be gradual. I do think technology does move faster than what we normally think. It just, NVIDIA released their Blackwell chips just recently, and that's, it's an expensive chip, but it's way leagues above what current chips that we've had previously. So I'm always speculating, like, what if they put the AI chips on the node machines? Did Bitcoin Renegade drop out?
No, I just put you in the if I do that, yeah, just don't worry. I'm just putting you in the spotlight, man. Sorry about that. I tried to do some cool stuff, but yeah, it didn't work. Anyway,
All
so
good.
yeah, I agree, man. Kind of finish your thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it will be, in my opinion, it'll be around 5 years. Just a hunch, where we'll get the GPUs on our node machines, and then we'll have on-chain training of the AI, which would be really awesome.
And would that be so? Do you think that would be through smart contracts? Could you train it to like update and upgrade smart contracts? Or deploy canisters, stuff like that?
Yeah, I guess you could, but I don't know if you would. I do think that whole deployment process, I do think it should be looked at by an actual DevOps engineer, just because you don't want that to be doing its own thing and start deploying the wrong type of thing. Unless that's the purpose of your project, you want a self-sustaining application and you just want to let it loose, then fine. But don't.
That sounds scary, bro. I don't know, man. That's like some Terminator Starknet type stuff, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like, just let it loose, bro.
but Dominic, he always, I think one example of an AI that he likes to talk about is the Oizy wallet, where basically he wants to implement like a chat interface on the Oizy wallet and allow people to just type whatever they want, and the wallet will do a swap or a transfer based on what they said, and maybe it could just do other things like query data and just look at the price, stuff like that. I think that's a more realistic use of AI. That's not so dystopian,
Right.
I personally think if they bring like an AI chatbot into the Oizy wallet, it would actually be really good for maybe people who are disabled, or people who are like blind, and they just need like a voice instructor to help them navigate the Oizy wallet. That would be for onboarding people who want to use crypto who are disabled, in my opinion. So I think AI has got a lot of good benefits, other than the dystopian movie fear that we always think about.
Right. Man, that I love, having like super technical people on the channel, because then we can kind of understand not just what can be done, but what is going to be done. And just having that base infrastructure of AI in the next couple of years is really going to catapult the internet computer. It's going to really get big eyes from, big investors around the globe. So we're still super early on the internet computer right now. This is why we want an expert review of what's possible in this AI. It's going to change the way that people see the internet computer. It's going to really give a new focus of interest, and all these other blockchains want to be part of it. So I love that. Let's see here. We got El Chingon in the house, man. What's up, guys? Can we do a crowdfunding for the GPU upgrade? That's funny. Yeah, so that would be cool if we could get some money together and help upgrade. But I don't think it's about money. I think it's just about like time, And then they got that. What did you say? 64-bit. What RAM or what is that for the internet computer that's coming out?
64-bit WASM.
Okay.
Is the thing that'll allow AI, more. It will support better AI models essentially.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So it says, I think ICP is up against Bitcoin. I guess maybe it is. I don't know if you can speak about price at all, but I'd like to talk about the price for a second of ICP. You're cool with that?
Yeah, let's go.
Cool, man. So first let's just talk, and then maybe I'll look at the charts for a second. I'm not sure if you analyze charts, but we can look at it together. And I just kind of want to get your opinion if it's a good buy right now. So let me share my screen here. We'll talk about this and get over here because I've made some good leverage trades lately. I don't use a whole lot of money, but I've been able to turn like $8 into a couple hundred a couple times. Not saying that's going to keep happening. I'm pretty lucky for that, but yeah, let's go ahead and look at the charts and see. I want to see because I'm waiting for it to go back down to 12 again, and then I'll get in. I got in at 1170, wrote it to like 1240, got back in at like 1190, wrote it to like 1240. So I want to keep doing that. First, let's look at the volume here. Okay, it looks like we're sitting at 1240. And so I'm not going to be getting in at this price on a leverage trade right now. But we have like kind of low volume, which is telling me we're not getting ready for a huge pump right now. We're pumping because Bitcoin is pumping. And so this kind of tells me we're sitting at number 20. We're down on volume, but we're going up. If we look at the last 7 days, you see that we're actually going up, even though that volume is going down. So as you see, it was like 147 million here. It went down up here to 120 million. That's because Bitcoin went up. You don't need as much volume when Bitcoin goes up. So it just shows me there's not a lot of momentum happening right now. We're kind of moving up over the last 7 days because, we're following Bitcoin pretty closely. So this looks interesting to me. What do you think about this, Drowny, though, right here? Let's go. So if we look over here, there was like 16 million in volume, like 20 on a good day, right? 25 on a good day, but under 20 million for like most days back here. I'm sure you said you've been in since 2021 or 2022, I mean.
Yeah.
And so we saw like this 30, 40, million dollar volume. It went down under 20. I think, yeah, we got 8 million this day. That is so low. And now a low day to us is going to be somewhere in the 50 to 100 million. Were you in during this time? Were you still sticking around? And what did you think when we saw this volume kind of just go way, way down?
Yeah, I got in right around the $3 mark, but it wasn't at this point. There was another point where ICP hit $3 back early 2023. I think that was when Gary Gensler, SEC, started classifying all these altcoins as securities. And yeah, ICP was pretty rough there as well. But yeah, just look at the volume, and we've come a long way. It's just crazy to think that like 100 million in volume is our low, and we're outperforming most altcoins. It may not seem like it because we're seeing like Solana and Near and even like ArcBlock like pump. But compared to like things like Cardano, Polkadot, Algorand, we're actually doing quite well, honestly, compared to those coins. So I think we're right on track where we're heading. I mean, we definitely we lost a lot of momentum we shot up from $21 to $12. I think it was much needed. I think we could potentially hit that $10.50, to be honest with you, just to do one last shakeout. But
I believe that too, man. Just because when we go up, we just kind of go right back down, but we are starting to see increased volatility, so that could happen soon. As you look over here, let's get in to the charts over here. I can show you the volatility is starting to increase, which to me means that there's going to be a move, which we saw here, up to about 12, I think 70 something right here. We just went up to 1272 right here. So we're starting to see this increased volatility from this candle over here, from 1118 to 1220. That's $1.02. So to me, that's where the increased volatility started. Then we kind of consolidate a little bit here, from a low of 1155 to 1216, about 71 cents. And then this candle, we go from a low of 1172 to a high of 1272. So this increased volatility is telling me, that we're going to have a nice pump here, and that we could see one more move back down to this area a little bit further. But we also have this kind of double bottom here. Oh, and I was calling this when this was still going down. I was like, this could definitely be a double bottom. So we could get a fake out that kind of brings us below this area, because as you see, we have kind of this, upward trending line right here that is going to be our support, which we're testing exactly right now. And then if you also take it this way, we have another area of support. So this is going to be a nice support structure with this double bottom here and these trend lines kind of being broke above right now. This could turn bullish, but then again, with the increased volatility, we could see this come down one more time and hit right around this 1050 range, just like you said, where we hit it once here, we hit it once here as support. So if we do, it's going to be a big wick down and then right back up, just like this. It's going to be just a quick test of this. But as long as we stay above these two lines right here, if we don't go below 1211, then we could still see an uptrend. We have this big resistance at 1283 with the EMA 25, but in order, actually, yeah, let's do the 200. And then we will look at the smaller time frames. And then this will really tell us whether we're going to be bullish or bearish. Like this 200, the 25 is a good thing to tell us we're bullish on the daily. We kind of bounced off of the 200 and we are above that 25. But this is going to be a big area of support at $11.50. So if we do wick below it, I honestly don't know, with this 200 being the way it is, if it's going to be going below 1150 by very much. So we might see a move to like 1186 or so. But I don't know if we're going to be going down to that 1050 unless it's just a quick wick where you can get in, get your bags, have a buy order, have a leverage trade right here. Because even if you have a leverage trade and it does go down to like 980, your leverage trade is probably going to be your liquidation is going to be somewhere down to like 880 if you get in at 1050, right? Depending on your leverage. Plus with this double bottom right here, this upward trending support line, things are looking bullish. But let's look at these smaller time frames and see. So we are still above the EMA 200 on the 5-minute. It is getting kind of this curve over right here. So if we do not hold this support line, we will be, testing down here at 1234 and then back here at 1211, which is that big area that if we do break down from this, then we could see further pullbacks to 1090 or whatever. But unless we stay above this on the 5-minute, kind of stay above these levels, we're going to be good. Or unless we break down, we're not going to be good. So, and yeah, this is kind of curving over. This looks like it might turn into some kind of head and shoulders right here, but we're above the 200. We're above this trend line right here. We're above this trend line right here. As you see, this is a pretty significant area, even in the smaller time frames where it breaks down. But if we get this kind of volume, This is what we're going to need. And we're starting to get more volume right now. As you see, it's spiking right here. I know it's hard to see at the bottom, but it's spiking right here. So this could be a nice area that they're trying to confirm as support as this volume goes up. Because this, as you see right here, we went up from this 1240 area to the 1270 area with very little volume. It was just growing very, very small over, you know, a few candles, and we have a nice amount of volume, which tells me, and it's green volume, that the bulls are trying to confirm this area right where we're at, because this is a breakout area confirming as support that they're trying to keep this level. The bulls are in control right now. The bulls are trying to confirm support, and so this looks nice on the 15-minute. To me, we're looking pretty bullish still, with a nice retracement over here to this nice $12 and 40-cent area with a test underneath. So this is looking pretty cool. I'd love this thing to move. Get out of my way. I can't see how much volume is here because they like to put this little thing there, so I'm not 100% sure how much volume is going on. Let's look at the hour. But yeah, everything is looking nice. And it could be like an ascending triangle that we have going on here as well, which is bullish. And then we have a possible like bull flag type deal as well. I mean, kind of a weird looking one, like a really sharp one, but
yeah,
hey,
it's going downwards.
yeah, I mean, this is something that could definitely play out right here, a bull pennant. And so if this plays out from right here, we could see a move up to this $13 area right here, $13.34. So it kind of depends if this area holds out. You could also kind of do it a different way too for the bull flag. But I mean, there's a couple, like this. You could do it that way. There's like it's just a bull flag right here. So this is the part that matters though, not as much this part. So it looks good. We had this. So this is another reason this volatility is what I'm talking about. And so as you see from this high to this low, let's look at what percentage that is, right? So you're talking 22%, okay, on the 1 hour for 162 bars. Now we have a move to this side of about 12.3%. So to me, this increased volatility could mean a big move happening, which means we could be going up to this. We are going to need to see increased volume, though. If we want to see this move come to fruition, we're going to need to see this start climbing with Bitcoin. And then we could really see ICP start moving up back up to this $13 psychological level. We're number 71. And I want you guys to take note of not only us being in the top 20, because we've been in the top 20 for quite a while, but it's really important to note the amount of volume that a cryptocurrency has on a daily basis. So if we go and we look back, this year, we can see when we really start moving, this volume picks up around that $200 million area. And as soon as we get above 200 million, even with some retracements down to 100 million, we really start to see this really take off and go up to 860 million when we get momentum. So this is what I'm looking for, is just an increased amount of volume, start to see this volume start trending upwards, and then we can make a big move to the upside. But if this volume stays the same or, kind of goes down or just, doesn't really move up to that $200 area, we could see it move back down to these lower levels and maybe even just a retest of somewhere around 1131 and not even go back to this 1050 area. But these are all levels I would be watching as ICP goes down. So is there anything you want to say about this, Drowny?
Not much of a TA, but something that I've noticed is that ICP, I do think ICP does a lot better on the third week of the month. And this is typically after the token unlocks, which is May on the 11th of every month. And if you go maybe on the weekly chart and kind of look at the third or fourth week of the month, ICP typically does a lot better towards the second half of the month, I would imagine. So that's one thing I've noticed in the last 7 months from my perspective.
So the third week, you're right. Look at this. So the 18th of December, look at this candle. 1, 2, 3. Dude, that is genius, bro. Hold on. That's the 11th. Hold on.
Yeah, like after the 11th, it's generally the area where I would say ICP. It can start from the 11th all the way to the end of that month.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. So from after the 11th, so you get the unlocks, and then it really pumps. So let's see if that's true going into this one too. Yeah. So look at that, bro. That's a really, really good discovery here. I didn't even notice that. And like, I'm a chart guy. Yeah. Look at that over here too. The 18th, boom, the 25th, all the way up. And then over here, the 15th, we do go back up, like right here, right? We go down on the 8th, back up on the 15th, and the 22nd. And then we go back down again until, we hit the 13th, and then we're going to be over here on the 20th. So we could see it start to pump again, bro.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're already seeing a green candle, and it is after the token unlock. So
Bro,
we did.
I love it.
I wanted to say something about the token unlocks. So the strategic round has been finished as of April 11th of last month, but we still have the private seed rounds, and that's going to go on for the next, I would say, 365 days. So I would say just keep an eye on like the third or fourth week of every month, and that's typically a good sign where ICP goes up. And then once it hits to the first week of the month, then you'll see some price suppression. At least, this is not TA. This is just kind of like tracking the token unlock.
Like fundamental TA somehow. Like it's a combination of both, like the fundamental analysis of the technicals. That's kind of crazy.
Or yeah, some people like to go full moon, solar eclipse style. I don't really believe that, but astronomy and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool, but yeah, I don't have any beliefs tied into that, but like I kind of think a lot of that kind of stuff is interesting just to see how like the space and like signs and stuff kind of correlate, because I've read a lot of astrological signs. Like like I don't go into like any weird dark arts or anything, but like as an intellectual person, I'd like to open my horizons to what's out there so that I can figure out for myself what's the truth and what's good. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I know some people use the stars to try to predict the price, but I like you noticing a pattern within that, because that's the way my mind works, is in patterns, and that's why I'm a technical analyst, because that's the way that I see things. And I can't believe I missed that, and that's why it's an honor to be around so many smart people, even though it's not your field, bro. You came out and you schooled me on some TA, so I love it. But yeah, I believe that ICP, these token unlocks. So what I'm thinking is that like right around the first of the month is when Definity, and it is so the third. I can tell you this from experience that Definity gives out grants on the 3rd of the month, and then they do another one, I think, on the 21st. But I think the bigger ones, or the 18th or whatever, depending on the month. But I think the bigger ones happen around the 3rd of the month. So it would make sense that these projects are utilizing the ICP that's given to them in grant to build their product. And then that's why you see, a significant downtrend in the price, plus the token unlocks. So all of those reasons would make us believe those together, maybe not just the grants, but the grants with the unlocks, is why it goes down for like, the first, week, almost 2 weeks of the month. And then we kind of see this spike, and I'm going to be watching that now, bro. You helped me out so much today. You don't even know with that. So thank you, brother.
No problem. Yeah. Thanks for that insight on the grant. I didn't know that's another area of selling pressure. That's interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of the projects, they need to utilize the capital, and they can't really just use ICP. And the developers that they pay might want to cash it out. So it all depends, what the project is building and what they need, the money for. But if you're getting $1 million AI grant or whatever from the Definity Foundation on the 3rd of, the month, that is going to cause some selling pressure. And then you have the unlocks, you said, around the 11th. So from the 3rd to the 11th, there's going to be that kind of selling pressure that happens because of, the tokens that are flowing out. That's going to change a lot of things for a lot of people, man. So let's do this. So we got about a few minutes left. Let's just kind of recap everything that we talked about today, and just kind of give our audience a little bit of hopium when it comes to still being early, because that's the one thing I think people are always so scared about. And that me as an investor, last bull run, now I'm kind of like a vet and it doesn't bother me. But psychologically, last bull run, it was hard for me to think that I was still early, that I was still buying a crypto before it already went up too much for me to make a profit. So I just want to kind of let our audience know in your own words, how early are we right now?
We're like Jeff Bezos, 1999 early. That's the best way to describe it.
I love it.
You know, it's just hard. You know, it's definitely hard to kind of just see where the future is going. But if you just take a look at, you know, the problems that we're encountering, it becomes more of a signal that this is where ICP can solve these issues. Like all these hacks that we're seeing, from El Salvador getting hacked all the way to the government getting their electrical grid infiltrated by China. It's becoming prominent, and cybersecurity is going to be, like Dominic always says, it's a $10 billion industry. So what can actually solve that? And I've been to a lot of cybersecurity meetups, and they always tell me, like, you got to put layers and layers of security. But but you know, you can only do so much. It's not foolproof. So I mean, that's just one aspect as to why I think we're early. Overall, you know, ICP brings a lot of things that to the table, not just to the Web2 world, but also back to the Web3 world. It does a lot for Bitcoin. It does a lot for Ethereum. I think Bitcoin will be used in a lot of payment systems. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but ICP has a solution. So let's just see how that plays out. So I think we're early. I think this is a 20-year roadmap. So 1999 was about 20 years ago. I think ICP will hit. Oh man, now I gotta give a price prediction. I definitely think it'll hit the 4-digit mark at some point in the next 10 years. 4 digits.
So do you think it'll become deflationary? Because that might be the only way that I can see that kind of happening, is it becomes at least deflationary.
I don't think it has to, because Ethereum is not necessarily deflationary, and it's a multi-$100 billion market cap.
Touché. Good point.
I feel like I haven't done the math, but a $1,000 ICP, will that put it ICP at Ethereum's market cap? I don't know, but I think it has to be deflationary enough to where it can offset the inflation. Like our inflation is about 8% if you include maturity rewards. So if we can like have like 3 to 4% deflation, then that basically offsets our inflation.
Inflation. So if it just is cut across the board and just break even, right?
Yeah, break even. I think that would be sufficient. I don't think we have to be like totally burning all the ICP, because and honestly, I think inflation will rapidly outpace the deflation in most blockchains. I haven't seen too many blockchains where they burn more than they issue. That's fairly rare in this world, in my opinion.
Man, that is a really good point. I didn't even think about that, because you're right. At $1,000, that would put us at somewhere around like 400, and I think we have 69 million, so it'd be like $469 billion that we would be at $1,000, somewhere around that area, and that's right around the market cap of Ethereum right now. And you said in about 10 years. And bro, I agree with you. Like from a technical standpoint, it is definitely possible to, in 10 years, in 2 different bull cycles from now, or in 12 years, to really take that $400 billion market cap. Because I think we're going to at least 40 to 80 billion dollars this year, or next year, this cycle. So us going up from like say $200 to $300 this cycle to $600 the next cycle, then I could see us being at 1,000 by 2035, 2036 or whatever bull run. So we'll see what happens. But I think that's a very educated way to have your prediction though. And we're going up. It's at 1245, so it does look like that area has held support for now. I would definitely be watching a breakout of that 1275 area. If we can break above that, get above 13, we're going to probably hit that bull flag target. I think that's on the 1 hour. So things are looking good. Thank you, Drowny. It was a pleasure. It was a great interview. I didn't even know what we were going to talk about, and we just ended up talking for 55 minutes. So
yeah, same here. I just got back from the gym, so thank you for having me. As always, Bitcoin Renegade. It was a pleasure meeting you at Austin, and having fun. And yeah, we'll talk more going forward.
yeah, and I might, guys. So when I went down there, Drowny already knows, but everybody was trying to get me to stay in Dallas, and like that felt good to like have people want me to be there, and then like everybody's so nice and cool. So I might be moving to Dallas instead of I was gonna move to Colorado, but I think life is pulling me towards my crypto people. And then I can read the charts because it was so funny when I was at Jesse's house before I left. And I love when my skills can come into place and like maybe help people. But they were asking me, they're like, hey, I think Amy asked me, should I trade my ICP right now for Shiba Inu? And I was like, well, ICP might be going. They're like, hey, you think ICP is going up or down? And I'm like, well, we broke out of this area just like I was telling you here. And then it broke below it, but it was like kind of a pump that was a fake out. And then it went right back below the line. So I was like, yeah, with not a whole lot of volatility right now, with pumping and getting rejected, I was like, yeah, the price is probably going to go down. And then we saw it go to like $11 after that. So I think it would be very beneficial to have me around in Dallas, and then, beneficial to be around all these cool IC people. Maybe I can help make people a lot of money with my technical analysis as it works a lot. But the thing about that is you don't want to lose people money. So you got to be careful when you tell your friends about a chart. You got to be like, hey, just know that I'm telling you this. I'm just analyzing it. I can't control the charts. So. But it'll be fun, man. You're down the road from there. I'm already looking for an apartment out there. Space Ape and Only are there. It's just going to be a really, really cool thing if I move down there. So thank you guys for making me feel welcome.
Yeah, we'll love to have you down there, and yeah, we can show you around. And there's just a lot of business here in Dallas in general. I would say the crypto community is pretty solid here. Austin has a bigger crypto presence, but Dallas is just as good in some ways. So
yeah, and Austin's just right down the road. So if we need to go, bam, 3 hours, right? Cool. All right. Well, we're going to call it a day. Thanks again. And everybody, smash that like, subscribe if you haven't, and get over to Drowny's YouTube channel. It's right over here. You can get it right here, and go check out that Dallas meetup. All right, guys. That being said, goodbye and good ICP.